Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. We've got good news and bad news. The good news is I finally got in the mood and in my head worked out everything I needed to do to repot my big Shoujo maple bonsai. It is big, it is heavy, and it's going to be a lot of work. So I've got my table round from the other house, and that's in the carport, so it's in the shade, so that's a good place. It'd be nice to do it out there in the sunshine, but once you get a bonsai out of its pot and you start scraping the soil off the roots, they dry incredibly fast, and you can kill them in 10 minutes in the sun. You have to keep spraying them with water, it's hard work. So in the shade, that would have been fine. Would have been. And then we get on to the bad news. There are certain types of bonsai tools that are essential for repotting, and all my bonsai tools have gone missing in the move. Now I know they were in a carrier bag, they were on the dining room table, they got packed away and put upstairs in the spare bedroom on a set of shelves. That's the last time I saw them. Now the trouble is, when dealing with my sisters over the phone about clearing the house out, you can't be expected to remember everything that you want and where it is. So I suspect they just saw a carrier bag full of what to them was junk, and it's been binned. So some of those tools probably won't get replaced, because in the early days, you know, when I started bonsai as a hobby and I wasn't doing orchids, you've got to have all the gear, haven't you? And it's not cheap. Bonsai tools are not cheap. You can get the cheap sort of black ones, but to get decent stainless steel ones, especially if they're Japanese, it's an arm and a leg job. You need a mortgage, they're hard work. So anyway, all my bonsai tools have gone missing. That will be my knob cutters, my branch cutters, my turntable, none of which are essential to repot, but what is essential is a root hook and a root rake. So I've ordered some of those off of eBay, so I haven't spent a lot of money, and both of those tools are needed. I'm not going to get away with not having those. So they should arrive beginning of next week, and I've had a look at quite a few bonsai sites, and I thought it was too late to repot that to Shoujo because of the leaves breaking, and lots of other sites have carried on fine, including some that have stripped every bit of old media out and left the tree totally bare rooted and repotted it at that stage with the leaves partly open. And people wouldn't show that on a video if that wasn't successful. So hopefully by the beginning of next week the tools will arrive and then we can have a go. The idea being that my table is in the shade in the carport. I'll just back the car out of the way so that I can get the camera in there. And the light comes in from the end, so I'll be facing the light, if you see what I mean. So although it appears in the shade to my eyes, it will be plenty bright enough with the video camera. And then we'll progressively do some. Now, I know this is the third video in one day, but it's only a short one, as are the others actually. So anyway, the repotting that Shoujo was going to be filmed today and was going to be tomorrow's video. Well, it will now be sometime next week. I'm not attempting to do a repot of a bonsai without the root hook. It's basically just literally what it says. It's a handle with a piece of steel that curves round at a right angle with a sharp point on, and you just literally rake from the centre, from the base of the trunk outwards, so that you're effectively removing the old media and combing the roots in a radial effect from the centre, so that any tangled ones get untangled. Some get torn, some get broken, but most of the time when you repot a bonsai, you've got 3 times as many roots as you actually need, and some of them are going to go, so it wouldn't be a big deal. So yeah, let's lay plans. It took me a while to get in the mood to do that and think it through. Now, what tools am I going to need? Have I got all the media I need? Am I going to reuse the pot? Have I got the mesh? Yes, I can reuse the mesh that's in the bottom of the pot. Have I got wire? Yes, I've got plenty of wire. I've got everything I need. It's a nice day and I haven't got anything else to do. Let's go for it. Right, now where are my tools? I mean, the trouble is in this house, there's not many places anything can hide because there aren't many places. There's a couple of cupboards in the kitchen. I thought, well, they wouldn't have been put in there, but I looked anyway. There's my wardrobe in the bedroom. Well, that's not for that sort of thing, but I looked anyway. There's no storage in the other 2 bedrooms. One's a music room. The only stuff in there is to do with music. There isn't anything else in that room. It's been, dedicated for that. And then there's a spare bedroom that Hannah uses. There's a couple of shelves of my bureau in there. There's nowhere to hide that sort of thing, so they're not in there. There's the downstairs cupboard in the hall. I've had a good look in there. And obviously the shed, which I've taken apart. Lifted up every single item in there and put it back down in a different place, and they're not in there, so they're deemed gone, unfortunately. And some of them will get replaced, but not all of them, because some I virtually never used, so I can manage without, like, pruning larger branches. I've got a pruning saw and I've got a decent pair of secateurs, yeah, so I can manage. Trimming little twigs and stuff, well, you've seen what I use for the roots on the orchids are actually bonsai trimming shears, yeah, and those are stainless steel. So I've got scissors, I've got secateurs. That'll do for most of the tree work above ground. I need my root hook and my rake for below ground. I've got my wire cutters. Again, the wire cutters I use when I'm like doing the holy clay pots, those are bonsai wire cutters. But I've been using them for, dual purpose. So some tools I'm okay with, and a few I need to replace. So that's why you're not getting a bonsai repotting video this week. I'll have to think of something else now, won't I? Duh. See you next time. Bye for now.